Hey, good evening, family. We are back for another edition of The Shift. How are we doing? We are 16 days into the journey. What journey? Into the journey of 2024. We are 16 days in. Some of you may have heard some segments of my previous pod show, and I talked about how in this next season, it will require a different posture from you, from me, as a collective unit, as an individual, as you continue to move forward into the direction of your dreams. And there was a quote that says, posture is a leadership language. What is your posture speaking, and what is it saying? In 2023, every detour has redirected you, has redirected me back to our purpose. We must embrace the detours, because it is the very detour that we have gone down that's allowing us to evolve to the next level. It is the detour that has allowed us to grow in wisdom. It is the detour that has allowed us to grow in strength. It is the detour that has allowed us to grow in stamina. It is the detour that has allowed our mental muscle to grow stronger. We all probably have heard this quote, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with the first step. How about the first 16 steps into 2024? How has the first 16 days been looking like for you? I want to remind you that you are a warrior. You are on a journey of 1,000 miles into the directions of your dreams. And again, the word journey means it is a pathway. It is an act of traveling from one place to another. When you look at synonyms, it means it is an adventure. It is a crossing. It is an expedition. It is an exploration. What kind of adventure are you going on in 2024? What are you crossing into? What type of expedition are you going on? And what will you explore in 2024? When you look at the word back, it means to return in the opposite direction from. Sometimes we have to go in the opposite direction that we was going in all of 2023. And sometimes we may feel like we're the Lone Ranger, the only one going down a particular path. But I'm trying to encourage you, stay the course. Stay the course. When you look at the word to, it means a particular destination. It is expressing motion, right, in the direction of something. You're approaching something. When you look at the word to, again, it's often defined as approaching or reaching something. You're setting a range to something, right? Is normally the word to is used to indicate a particular purpose or a result or an ending of something, right? When you look at the word me, it means the core of who you are. It's time for us to tap into the core of who you are, the core of who I am, and to get back to our center. And every single morning when you wake up, you must command your morning. You must command every room that you walk into. You have to check your posture before you walk in the room. Walk into new territories and take ownership. I'm going to say that again. Walk into new territories and take ownership. Command your morning. You set the atmosphere in every single room you go into this year. You set the atmosphere. What will you look like at the end of 2024? What will your community project look like? What will your business look like at the end of 2024? What will it look like? There was a quote that I saw, and it says, you have to show up to win the game. Winning the game in your own personal life, winning the game in your business, winning the game in your community projects, winning the game. You have to show up. The first step to winning. Some people say, I don't know if I'm going to step out there. I don't know if I'm going to pan out. I don't know if I'm going to be successful. I don't know. It's so many I don't knows, but you won't know until you show up. It's time for to evolve, to go higher, to go to the next level. And sometimes that simply means we need to have a face-off with ourselves, right? Sometimes we have been living in incognito and void of living the reality of who we are. We need to have a face-off with ourselves. Sometimes it's not having a face-off with anybody else. We need to have a face-off with ourselves and come to terms with who we are, what we possess, and what we're going to be doing. And then you have to look at the different phases that you're going to be going through. Even in 2024, we know a year is broken down into quarterly phases, right? What phases of your life are you going to be entering into this year? What phase? right? What season are you in? Sometimes if you don't know what season you're in, sometimes you live in a state of duality, right? You live in, your foot is on one side of the street, your other foot on the other side, and you're living in this dual lifestyle, right? Because you want to move forward into your purpose and your dreams, but one foot is staying in the land of familiar, staying in the land of safe. And that creates a duality in you. And sometimes it also creates a sense of frustration, right? So in order for us to get into a pathway where we're feeling fulfilled, we have to redefine what is fulfillment to us. What is fulfillment to you? What is fulfillment to me? I had to go through a season in my life that I had to redefine what was fulfillment for me. At the time when I was writing my book, Journey Back to Me, I was approaching age 42. I was in a transitional phase of my life, and I had to figure out what my next destination was. Where am I going? Where am I leading to? Like, I had to speak to myself and say, what will your next 40 look like? It's time for you to chart a new course. I had to say that to myself. It's time for me to chart a new course. I could no longer stay in the same situation and continue to think the same way, right? To start your journey, one must first be deconstructed to be reconstructed. To be deconstructed is to become vulnerable in every area of your life. It is to become naked with self without shame. It is to be reconstructed in the process of restoration. See, when you're being restored, it is also the process of you being reconstructed all over again. It's being restored back to who you are, who you've been designed to be. And sometimes we've hidden that person for so long. We've lived in a dual state. And it's time for the face off. And sometimes you have to go back to the different phases of your life to come to terms with things that you've gone through in your life, the different seasons of your life, the different cycles of your life. And once you go through all of that, I promise you, your capacity is going to increase. Sometimes our capacity can't increase because we haven't been able to release. We haven't been able to detox. We haven't been able to let go. It's time to go beyond where you are now. It's time for me to go beyond where I am now. It's time out for self-sabotage. And sometimes we have to identify what are those things that sabotaging our forward movement in business, forward movement professionally, forward movement personally. What is stopping us? What is the root of your craving that sometimes that's self-sabotaging forward movement? We all got to ask ourselves that question. We all do. If we want to chart a new course for our life, if we want to end up on the road to ... you fill in the blank. What road are you going on in 2024? What roadmap are you going on? What are you charting for yourself? Where are you going? What destination? Right? And we're still in the top of the year, so it's a perfect time to give yourself a strategy, 90 days of execution. Don't forfeit the promise. It's time to execute on your goals and your dreams. It is the time for it. To execute means to carry out, to put in effect a plan or order, a course of action. We got to work the promise, and the promise is still the promise. Don't get discouraged. Don't get dismayed because you think things aren't manifesting. You think things aren't coming to pass. Don't forfeit the promise. The word forfeit means to lose or to be deprived of something, right? To lose right to. Don't lose the right to your promise. A promise is a declaration or an assurance that one will do a particular thing or that particular thing will happen. I want to encourage your heart and I want to encourage your mind that that thing will come to pass. And I want to ask, where are my giant slayers? Because my giant slayers, it's time to cross the finish line. It's a quote that says a horse that doesn't set foot on the track is certainly never going to cross the finish line, let alone win the race. The finish line, the word finish means to complete. What is it time for you to complete in your life? Don't stop till you cross the finish line. It's time to cross into the next chapter in your life. It's time to go to the next destination. And the question is, who's running your race? There's a quote that says, it doesn't matter how fast you cross the finish line if you're running someone else's race. If you're running the wrong race, what race are you running? Right? And when we talk about crossing over to another place in our life, another destination, the word cross means a specific directional point, pass in opposite or different direction, right? It's an intersection. Sometimes we hit intersections in our life, just like if we're driving a car and we're coming to an intersection and we're going to either go right, left, or forward or whatever, right? We have come to intersections in our life, and sometimes we pause. Just like if you're in an intersection, you come up to a stop sign or it's a red light or what have you, and there's a pause before you proceed forward. You're checking for safety. You're checking to see if there's any other cars coming through. But sometimes we don't do that in life. We're just blazing through different intersections, and we're not pausing. We're not assessing the scenario. We're not assessing the scene, and we're just acting. We're acting out on impulse sometimes, but we're not assessing. The word over means succession. It means growth. It means extending directly upward from, at a higher level or layer, right? It's time for us to grow. It's time for us to have a succession plan, even in our business, right? What is your succession plan in your business, that when it's time for you to move in other areas of your business, that someone can take the reins that you currently have? There's a quote that says you'll always have to fight for what you want. Sometimes we're ready to throw in a towel, and I'm here to remind you, you got to keep fighting. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving forward. Life is a race, and what matters most isn't when a person crosses the finish line, but how strong have you become along the way? And that's what I want you to ask yourself. How strong have you become along the way, through every journal, through every up, every down, every U-turn, detour, and everything in between? How strong have you become? Because your strength has also increased your capacity. It's time to go beyond where you are right now. It is time to move forward into the direction of your dreams. Don't let the naysayers around you, don't even let your own mindset, those naysayers in your head that want to talk defeat and doubt and negativity, don't allow that to continue to bombard you, to stifle out your creativity and your intuition and your creativity. Don't allow that to happen to you this year. This is the year of growth. This is the year of abundance. This is the year of the overflow. This is not the year to barely make it. This is the year to go all in the next level of your business. This is the year to take your business to the next level. This is the year to go to a whole nother level that you might not even thought of. But I want you to take some quiet time to yourself. Again, we're 16 days in. And how are you panning out in the first 16 days of the year? I know I've had some challenges, some bumps in the road, and I'm sure some of you may have as well. But you know what I've been telling myself is that I'm not going to allow these challenges, these bumps in the road, to derail me and abort what I know I'm going to accomplish in my business in the first quarter of this year. No, it is not going to be aborted. The purpose will not be aborted. Mine won't be aborted, nor will yours be aborted. It will come to full term, and you will birth that business. You will birth that dream. You will birth the passion that's on the inside of you. That community project, that community based organization that you've been, reflecting on and trying to figure out how you want to build it and grow it. Let me tell you something. This is going to be the season that it's all manifesting. I'm claiming it for myself. This is the year of the overflow. This is the year of manifestation. And do not allow whatever is taking place in the first 16 days of the year to rock your world, to shake your world, to make you think, oh, this is how this whole year is going to trend. No, it is not how the whole year is going to trend. It's going to trend based on how you want it to trend. It is going to trend based on how you want it to trend, not based on what others have said, not based on what the first 16 days has said. It's going to trend based on how you build your circle, how you build your network, how you build your oasis around you in your business enterprise, right? It's not based on what other people think, what they say, what they don't say. It's not based on them. And so for those of you that may need some support around business development, strategic planning, at the end of this month, I have the Good Morning to the Leader in You business brunch, and I would invite you to that. It's kicking off at 11 a.m. Saturday, January 27th. It's at 3000 Chestnut Avenue, Suite 100D, Baltimore, Maryland 21211. And it's going to be a time of innovation, a time of creativity, a time of education, right? Strategic planning, organizational development is my niche. I would love to work with you. If you have any questions, send me an email, ct@katherinetrotter.com, or give me a call, 443-799-6529. Listen, I'm going to see you at the top, and I look forward to seeing you at the Good Morning to the Leader in You brunch, Saturday, January 27th, 11 a.m. See you at the top.